Today we're going to install this fiber cement siding under this wall here. Oh, too legit to quit. Too legit to quit.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
So, I mean, you know.
Yeah. Mike, you call me, man.
All right.
See what you're talking about.
So today we're going to install this fiber cement siding under this wall here. Hopefully by the end of the day we'll have that done. We got MGZ back on the set, ready to work. Out of school on break. So anyways, first thing we got to do is we got to get some of the pieces, and we're going to rip a 2-inch piece and put that along the bottom. The first one will be 16 inches long, and then after that they'll be 48 inches long, and between each one of those we're going to have to put a 1/4 inch gap, and that's basically going to serve as a weep hole. So if any rain gets behind this product, eventually it'll find its way down the wall and out that weep hole. The next thing we got to do is we're going to take the pieces and we'll rip them 9 inches. That'll basically be the starter strip, and the reason we got to do that is because there's these gaps here and we don't want it to bleed through. So once we get that done, I'll take the first course, and we're going to do our first course flush, so we'll have to rip this down, and then after that we'll start our pattern. But the first course will be 48 inches, and then we'll flip it to 32, and then the third course, the first shingle, will be 16. That'll keep us on our studs, and that'll also keep the pattern uniform, and we'll carry that pattern up the wall and even through the window, so that when we get to the other side of the window we're still on our pattern. What do you think? Can it be done? We have enough time?
Yeah.
We get it done before the sun goes down? Okay. He says we can do it. I agree, so let's get after it. Okay, so like I said, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to rip some of these strips off the main pieces. The manufacturer says 1.5 inches, but I'm going to go ahead and do 2 inches. I feel like it gives a little more nailing space. So what we'll do is we'll mark this with our straight edge, and then we have the Makita fiber cement shear, and we'll use that to cut through this like butter. I have done a review on this. This is a new tool that I purchased that I've never used before. So if you'd like to hear more about the tool, then please watch the review video. I'll put a link to that down below. But just in case you don't get to the video, let's just show you how it works. It's just that easy. As you can see, we got a pretty straight line. I'll leave a little gap on the end. You know there's a stud here. Now on this first strip, you're supposed to put a nail every 8 inches. Look at our last measurement, leaving a 1/4 inch gap. Okay, so now we're going to come up 9 inches. Line that up on the arrow. Point line. Perfect. I mean, they recommend that you cut this from the back side, which is kind of counterintuitive, because usually when you're cutting wood, you want to cut it from the top side because the saw blade rips through. The rest of these little shingles here we'll save for when we need to fill in under the window. And you want to leave a little gap on the end here between dissimilar material. So we've got this fiber cement siding. This is the old wood trim. We're just reusing it on this house because it'll paint. We'll scrape and paint that. So put a 1/4, 2.5. Okay, so now we're going to measure down to our shortest shingle. It's 15 inches. And we'll measure on either side to 15 inches. Make a mark, come down 15 inches. Make a mark. Grab our straight edge. Grab our shear. And trim this bottom off. Great, we have the first course in. Remember, we're trying to set this on a staggered pattern. So we're doing that based on 16-inch stud. So what we're gonna need to do is we'll pull it from the far side of the shingle to 32. Now when we get over to the wall, what we gotta do is measure up 6 inches. We go up 6 inches and make a mark, and that is going to be where the top of this tile is going to flush out. On our marks, leave a gap on the end. We come down, leave a little space. We want to mark that. Have to come down. Looks like about 3 inches. So we'll come down, make a mark, and then cut that piece out. Come back over here and nail it up. Okay, so that's the 32. So the next one will be a full 48-inch piece. I wish I could say this was easy working around this window, but it is not. Either way, we've got our 48 course in and our 32-inch. Now we'll rip a 16. You just have to piece in the individual shingles underneath the window, and then we'll work our way up the sides of the window. Nail gun, level. Okay, the key to making this wall work. Remember, we started with a 48, then you rip a 32 from the end, then a 16. 48, 32, 16. 48, 32, 16. So for example, this here is a 32. The piece would have stopped here, and then our next piece would be 48 inches, right? So 32 plus 48 is 80. 80 is right here. We got helicopters and police sirens, of course. 80 is right here. That would be the end of our siding piece. That's how we wind up with a little piece like this. So then the final piece, we'll start with a fresh piece with the keyway. It'll be 15 inches long. So you got to carry it through the window. So you just got to measure, and then you got to pick up on this side of the window where you would have had this been a continuous wall with no window. So it just takes a little bit of math, but it repeats itself every 3 courses. It's more or less the same measurements. So now again, the distance between the top of this piece and the top of the next piece is 6 inches. So I've got this old school square here. So what you'll do is you'll just come over here, 6 inches, come come over here, 6 inches, and that's where the top of the next piece of siding will go. Yeah. Just another day in the hood. Got the ghetto bird. They're circling. They're looking for somebody. It ain't me. Ain't looking for me. You want to know why? Because I'm too legit. Too legit to quit. Too legit. Too legit to quit. Too legit. Too legit to quit. Hey, hey. That's how you do it, partner.